I think back to the days when I was at the Department of Commerce, and I heard at that point, we don't have enough welders in Wisconsin. Well, it's frustrating to see that 7 years later, I hear the same things. We have to get on top of these issues. We have to get ahead of them and be able to forecast what our workforce development needs are. Working with industries, we can do that. It helps make sure companies are growing and more successful. It leads to greater export opportunities. The second part is workforce development. We have to make sure that we are creating the workforce that is going to be able to compete for the jobs in the future. As I am concerned about the effectiveness of WEDC. We have seen constant turnovers in the leadership there. We have seen that they've lost track of taxpayer money and needed quite a bit of time to get that under control. And then most recently, we're seeing that they're not even using the funds appropriated to them. So first it was $30 million that was in their budget that they didn't spend. This is at the same time that I travel around the state. I talk to companies and people who want to start companies who say they don't have access to capital. And yet our economic development agency somehow isn't even using the funds appropriated to it. And then the latest is taking these tax credits from startup programs to attract angel and venture investment to this state, where we are lagging states around us, and now they want to take that money and put it someplace else because we're not using enough of that. The division that I ran at TREC, that was a $50 million division at the Department of Commerce. I think at that point we not only had the economic development, but we had 2 regulatory divisions. I think our budget was something like $350 million. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think I have the academic credentials that lead me to be able to do that. In addition, organizations such as, I was board chair of the Boys and Girls Club in Madison, worked on education programs for 10 years. So I think that I certainly have the executive experience to be able to do that. And I think in terms of politics, frankly, I think people are sick of politicians. We're frustrated. Not enough is getting done. I think people would love to see a more business-like approach to running the state than what we're getting now. So I would be looking at how we are going to reduce the tax burden in Wisconsin, but the best way to do that long term is we have to grow our economy. If you look at Wisconsin's economy, if we had just grown at the same rate as the national average under Governor Walker, our economy would be $1.9 billion bigger. That's the type of tax base that we need to do and need to keep growing in order to get our taxes down. We have to redefine education and workplace skills because right now we have a system that is based on a 30-year-old economy where you could graduate from high school and get a good paying job by just graduating high school. We have to make sure high school actually is the first step to the career path so that kids, when they graduate high school, know what they're going into. They know what that next step is, or they're ready to enter the workplace at that point. Right now, we're not doing that. So that's important to Milwaukee's economy and for the state as well.